Well, the UN's top court will hold its third day of hearings on Wednesday to assess Israel's humanitarian responsibilities as an occupying power in Palestinian territories. On day two, South Africa condemned Israel's actions in Gaza, while Saudi Arabia called on the international community to end illegal settler encroachment in the occupied West Bank. In just under half an hour, Israel's biggest ally, the United States, will be opening day three with a statement. Well, let's speak to Rory Challands. He's following those hearings for us at The Hague. Rory, talk us through what we might expect to hear from the US today.
Yeah, well, we are now in day three of this five-day hearing. We're past the halfway point. So far, we have heard from 12 countries and the United States and the United Nations. We are still waiting to hear any voice that is defending or supporting Israel. But that is almost certainly going to change today because we have two countries taking the stand. They are the United States, which is starting proceedings this morning, and then in the afternoon, Hungary. Now, when the United Nations General Assembly voted on Resolution 79232, which was the piece of UN decision-making that set up this whole process, there were 137 countries that voted in favour of that, 22 abstentions, and only 12 voting against it. Now, the United States and Hungary were two of those 12. So expect to hear support for Israel, expect to hear criticism of this court, this process, and UNRWA, and perhaps even the United Nations itself, from US lawyers and perhaps Hungarian ones too. We are also getting statements from other countries today, of course. We have Russia, France, Indonesia, Turkey, Iran, Jordan, Kuwait and Luxembourg later on in the day as well.
Rory, Israel has repeatedly ignored ICJ rulings in the past. So what happens when this all wraps up in a couple of days?
Yeah, well, the last country to be given time to speak is going to be Comoros. And then that is late in the afternoon on Friday. Once that's done, 40-plus countries will have had their chance to speak in front of the courts, in front of the 13-strong judging panel. That judging panel will then go away to consider what they are going to decide. When they come back, after however long that is, it may be a few days, it may be a few weeks, they will be providing an advisory opinion to the United Nations General Assembly. It's non-binding. That means that Israel is essentially, if the judges decide against it, Israel is under no real obligation to adhere to what this court finds. Does that make it inconsequential? Well, no, it doesn't, because although this is a non-binding advisory opinion, it is still based on international law. So Israel would still have been found to be in contravention of international law. That does feed back into the whole international system because this is the court of the United Nations. And there are other ways in which pressure from decisions like this, mounting up over time, can be brought against Israel. And if we can see that at the end of this process, 40 or so countries have been speaking, most of them, the large majority, critical of Israel, well, that gives you some idea of Israel's current standing in the world.
Rory Challands there, keeping an eye on those hearings for us in The Hague. We'll be staying across that for you here on Al Jazeera. For now, thank you, Rory.